Have you ever heard a story so strange, so unsettling, that it makes you question not only the limits of human knowledge, but the very foundations of reality itself? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not a legend, not a myth, but a documented mystery buried for centuries in forgotten archives. It begins in the winter of 1821, in a remote Scottish village. Inverare, a small settlement near the Highlands, was a place few outsiders ever visited. Isolated by mountains, battered by cold winds, and bound tightly by superstition, the villagers relied on each other for survival. It was a world still reeling from the Highland clearances, where families had been uprooted and cast adrift, where trust in strangers was thin, and where whispers of the old Celtic spirits still lingered in the night air. And yet, on the morning of February 14th, something entered Inverare that would tear a hole through everything the villagers thought they knew. Margaret McTavish, the schoolteacher, found him first. A boy, no older than 8 or 9, sitting quietly on the steps of her schoolhouse. His clothes were unlike anything she had seen. Strange fabric, thin and silky, cut in patterns belonging to no country she knew. But it wasn't his clothing that stopped her in her tracks. It was his eyes. They glowed, not in the way eyes reflect light, but as if they produced it, shimmering with an unnatural brightness. When Margaret spoke to him in English, he answered with sounds that defied all comprehension. She tried Gaelic. She tried the scraps of French she knew. But still, the boy replied in the same musical, fluid tones, like a song shaped into words, flowing like water over stones. This was not a dialect, not a forgotten tongue. What the boy spoke was something no human throat should have been able to produce. Margaret brought him inside, offering warmth and shelter. But almost immediately, the boy began trying to teach her. He pointed at a book and said, "Philon." 2 books, "Philon verith." 3 books, "Philon verith Kyle." But 4 books, the word changed completely, "Mundara." And 5, still, "Mundara." Margaret, though only modestly educated, quickly realized she was watching something extraordinary. The child was counting, but not in base 10 as humans do. His numbers were built on base 4, an alien system to the human mind. News spread like wildfire through the 300 souls of Inverare. By evening, half the village had gathered to see the strange child. And soon, the boy came under the care of Dr. H. MacLeod, the village physician. Dr. MacLeod expected to debunk the mystery, but instead he found something far more disturbing. The boy's vocal cords were not human. Extra fibers, strange cartilage, structures designed for sounds no human should make. His skull was larger, shaped differently in the regions where language is processed. His eyes, already unsettling, contracted and dilated in patterns no doctor could explain. And his heart, it didn't beat in the human rhythm of lub-dub. It beat in a 4-part sequence, mathematical, mechanical, impossible. Weeks later, a linguist named Professor Alistair Doonrare arrived from Glasgow. He spent 3 weeks listening, recording, and analyzing. His conclusion? Terrifying. The boy's language wasn't just complex, it wasn't just alien. It seemed designed for a mind that could think in multiple dimensions at once. Concepts no human tongue could carry, emotions wrapped in formulas, sentences that mapped time and space itself. And what disturbed Doonrare most? The language was evolving. Week by week, the boy altered it, shaping it, as if he were struggling to build a bridge between his world and ours. But it came at a cost. He grew restless, agitated. At night, villagers reported hearing him crying out in that strange tongue, pointing to the constellations above as though he were calling out, pleading for something or someone. Then came the drawings. Given paper and charcoal, the boy began to sketch. But these were no childish doodles. They were intricate diagrams, part mathematics, part astronomy, part something no villager could recognize. The most haunting among them was a map, not of Earth. Geometric shapes, interlocking lines, symbols pointing to locations beyond human comprehension. Whenever he showed it, the boy grew desperate,
pointing, speaking rapidly, as if begging the villagers to understand. By March, the boy began predicting disasters, storms, landslides, even the arrival of visitors. He would warn of them days before they occurred, always with eerie precision. It was clear he knew things no human child could. Word spread far enough to reach the British crown, and with it came the end. Colonel James Worthington arrived with government officials, doctors, and scholars. They immediately seized control, cutting the villagers off from the boy. And in secret reports buried until the 20th century, they revealed their true fear. The boy's drawings contained military secrets. His language encoded knowledge no human should know. His very existence was a threat. Witnesses later claimed they saw the boy taken away in a covered carriage, surrounded not only by soldiers, but by shadows that moved unnaturally, as if alive. Lights followed the carriage into the mountains, and then silence. The boy was gone. But this was not the end. Months later, strange cases began to surface across Britain. Patients in hospitals, soldiers in fevers, scientists in experiments, all suddenly speaking in the boy's language. None remembered doing so. And worse, they spoke answers. Answers to mathematical problems, designs for machines, insights into astronomy, knowledge decades ahead of its time. The language was spreading, infecting, teaching, like a seed planted in the human mind. And then the sightings returned. In Dublin, in Bristol, in Liverpool, always the same child, never aging, eyes that glowed, a voice that resonated with impossible harmonics. Priests claimed he could see their thoughts. Scholars swore he spoke of people who lived between moments, and those who met him often died mysteriously, their final days haunted by dreams of the boy and his words. By the mid-1800s, the government had had enough. A secret commission concluded that the boy was not human. His language was not communication, it was technology, a system designed to rewrite the human mind, and every person who heard it carried the infection forward. They locked the files away, they buried the reports, they told the world nothing. But if you think the story ends in the 19th century, you're wrong. Darwin himself, in private letters, confessed to dreaming in a language that shaped his theory of evolution. Mendel, the father of genetics, described visions of a child teaching him the grammar of life. Again and again, the greatest minds of history seemed touched by something impossible. And when modern researchers compared the records, the pattern became undeniable. Wherever the boy was sighted, innovation followed, science accelerated, humanity leapt forward. So who or what was the boy of Inverrare? A visitor? A messenger? An experiment gone wrong? Or was he something else entirely? A spark meant to push humanity forward, whether we were ready or not. The truth may never be fully known, but remember this: language shapes thought, and thought shapes reality. If a language truly existed that could bend the human mind into new dimensions, what would happen if you heard it? Would you understand the universe more clearly? Or would it break you? What do you think? Was the boy of Inverrare a lost child from another world, or something much darker, an intelligence planting its seed in human minds? Share your thoughts below, and if you want to hear more hidden stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe, because this mystery is only the beginning.